Good afternoon. Hopefully broadcasting okay. So let's take a sneak peek. Make sure the live stream is up and running. So if you could say a quick hello, if you're around. That would be excellent. So just waiting for confirmation. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Gordon. Nice to see you both. So we're up and running. Now, I'm using the condo Wi-Fi. So if I disappear, it'll be because the Wi-Fi has gone down. So I'll have to reboot. So do prepare in case that happens. It's been quite steady so far. So fingers crossed we're all okay. Coming away with a nice early profit. I didn't get on Charlton and Millwall. I was a greedy bar steward, but I hope you did. Late Charlton, late on. Millwall already 12 shots off target. Now against 10 men in a London derby. Off you go. A very late 1-1. Schalke insurance pays out. Thank you so much. They look a bit poor up front, Schalke. So we're going to have to be a little bit cautious with them. And De Graafschap. This was last night. It was a concerning one because the market was continuously suspended after the goal was scored. So if we get a late 1-2 for Willem's Way, we will lose, even though as traders we are expected to get out. And an early profit with Darmstadt. Doesn't look as if that one was saved, but I made 56 quid on that Darmstadt play. Thankfully, the red card and cashing out. So that was excellent. So let's have a look. We've got the scores coming in. Nothing too exciting. We've got our odds on favourites here. So we've got two odds on favourite matches today. Modena and Bari. Just want to make sure, see who scored the goal. Pre-match odds. Where's the pre-match odds? 1.86. So the odds on favourites scored the first goal, and we know Paulson are likely to be odds on favourites as well. This is a good technique for finding yourselves some decent trades during the day. Focus on the odds on favourites. It narrows down the list of matches you have to look after. And you've got some decent angles in as well. If the market behaves, or the in-play stats behave as the market suggested, as was the case with Crawley, who utterly dominated this match, then you've got a good angle in. So that's why I look at odds-ons. Dortmund, don't forget, this is a very, very unique weekend. It is post-international, pre-Champions League. So we've got a Serie A goal. It's not in a match of great interest, 2.25 the favourite, but Parma are, I think, newly promoted. And they started off pretty brightly, didn't they? Venezia looking good against Pescara in Serie B. Newly relegated, weren't they, Venezia? And Modena 1-0 up, Serie B as well. So we've not got any early plays. German Bundesliga will be worth a quick shufti. We're expecting goals. Leverkusen back to their very best yesterday. Goals before half-time. Comfortable win. That's the Den Haag factor for you. What an absolute tool he is, allegedly. Dortmund pre-Champions League, so be very, very careful with them today. The mighty Hoff, we're going to see a goal before half-time. We normally do with the mighty Hoff. Köln, newly promoted and away from home, could be vulnerable today. Mainz and Leipzig, the market's finding this one too tough to call. And for good reason, both in pretty decent nick. Leipzig coming back to winning ways last week. I don't think they're involved in the Champions League this week. But you can find out at Soccer 24. Just hop in your DeLorean and head on ahead of time to Tuesday. And we've got a possible play with FC Köln taking the lead against the Wolf. You never know with these newly promoted sides, they might find their opposition more to their liking. So we just give that one some breathing space. This is looking a little slow, but Champions League teams we need to know. Leipzig, I don't see them on the list. Dortmund we see. Juve playing Inter Milan, aren't they? Marseille won yesterday. Benfica failed to win. Karabag conceded the first goal. One or two of these are going to cock things up today. Arsenal, no problem at all. They're meeting a much changed Forest in the midst of two managers. So a great time to get them. So beware. And that's what I'll be doing today. I'll be doubly cautious of any Champions League side, particularly if they concede the first goal. Do they have it in them to get the equaliser today? All of them, bar Benfica yesterday, delivered. So it looks okay for us. So I hope you're all doing well. Hi, Michael. The Wolf for a goal down, indeed. Thank you very much, Michael, for reminding me. It is FC Köln, isn't it, Michael? Newly promoted. And as I just suggested, maybe just a little bit of breathing space because these two have never met each other before. So it could just be like Tottenham against Bournemouth, that the tactical nous or the difference tactically of Köln could just stifle the Wolf. But you're quite right, 1.9 home favourite against a newly promoted side. You'd be expecting the home side to do something. So we can prepare for this match. Get the Wolf up here. And we can just, you can take your insurance out now if you wanted to. Such short odds, even if you're not going to play. I do 2 lots of 20. It's only a 5-second delay. So not got matched yet. I don't like waiting in this market, to be honest, because I want to get it all matched. But I've got 16 done. So a bit of Carol Vorderman maths, and we'll do a 24 there. Get this up to about 40 quid for under 1.5 goals. There it is, 39.86. I'll round that up to 40 for the sake of perhaps entering the match odds market. So I'm preparing for that. It's only a £2.68 liability. I can afford to lose that. I've already made 55 quid on Darmstadt earlier on today. So that's very absorbable. So we'll just wait and see whether FC or Wolfsburg have something in the locker. We can have a look at the form, which is at footballtradingprofits.com for you already. Teplice and Mlada Boleslav 2-2. Might want to check that one out. Desmond, 38 minutes. So plenty of action to go in the second half. We can get rid of that one now. It's one-way traffic. Already I've picked the leagues of interest here at football24.com. This will give us some dings when we get goals. This should alert us when we get goals in odds-on favourite matches. And this will alert orally when a goal in one of the matches I've picked out at the top here gets a goal. Because these are matches that have caught my eye. For example, Lusitania La Rosa. You can quite obviously see odds-on favourite at home playing like an odds-on favourite at home. So that will pique my interest, particularly for the second half. We could possibly lay the draw. They're on a winless run of 3. That could impact today, where they'd be keen to get 3 points. So that's brewing up nicely. That's why I've got that one on the lookout. So we're just going to head off and have a look at Wolfsburg and FC Köln while the goals are not flowing in. So soccer24.com. Head on down. You can see there are only 2 matches at the moment, but both teams have scored in the Wolves' 2 matches this season. A good 1-1 against Mainz, although, as you can see, they were delivering, weren't they, until an 89th minute penalty robbed them of those 2 extra points. And they did benefit from a penalty in their last one. 2 away goals. They look pretty compact, don't they, the Wolf, not conceding that second goal. Very unlucky in that match. FC Köln, newly promoted. Great win against Mainz, and again, a very late goal. So this could be something for us to look for. 87, 89, 90, 84. So we might have some late action here today. Excellent win against Freiburg. I'm not sure if there's a red card involved or not, but this is superb stuff. So are they going to bounce like Como did in Italy, or are they going to sink FC Köln? We will find out. What I can do as well, just for a bit of fun, is get an AI, one of my apps up, and take this through. I've got it performing quite well, so we can, just while it's a little quiet, make sure there's no goals of interest. Dukla Prague, no. So I'm going to head off to my other account here, get at one of these. It's been performing quite well and pretty accurately. So I wonder if it can provide me with a quick synopsis of a match in play. It's I think it's the AI Football Assistant. This is an app I've built on the studio, and I've put in a special feature as well for it to work off the internet, not off its own memory. So if it will bring up, there we go. So we're heading off to Germany, the Bundesliga, post-match analysis. Yeah, we'll do the match preview. What are we after? Wolfsburg v Köln. See if it's got any. Let's just see the strengths and weaknesses of both teams and what AI has to say about it. And I've been posting these on footballtradingprofits.com. You might find the angles interesting. What it does do, this research, it looks at the injuries, which I don't look at because I'm looking basically at the statistics and I'm not looking at injuries. This is why I do these extra bits. This is why I've built this to help us to get these extra angles. So we've got a suspended market. Is that an equaliser for Wolfsburg already? We will see. They've met 35 times, 17 wins, but that's going to be academic because Köln, I didn't ask it for any betting angles, so that's a pity. Maybe if we look at predict here, so we'll go Wolfsburg and Köln, K-O-L-N, and generate prediction, and we'll wait and see. Got to keep an eye on the goals as they come in. That Desmond has finished already. Orebro against Ostersunds. Any odds on favourites there? No, no odds on favourites goals just yet. So you can see with Crawley, once the in-play stats are looking like it's an odds on favourite performing at home, you can be quite confident. Could have laid that draw there. Annecy and Reims, for example. Now we can have a look at Reims late on. That's probably why I've got this up here. If we see some late momentum, they were odds on favourite pre-match. You can see here they're starting to warm up nicely. 66 on the attacking pressure index. We can look at the last 5 minutes, and that is very encouraging. That's why I do this odds on favourites list. So Annecy and Reims, I'll be looking at that. But let's have a look. 2-2 says the predictor. This is the AI, I call it. Köln's excellent early season form. That's what we saw at Soccer Stats, wasn't it? Wolfsburg's recent home struggles. Despite a positive overall start, Wolfsburg have not won at home in the last 9 matches. Wow. So that's over the course of 2 seasons, of course. Head-to-head advantage, well, that's academic, really, because Köln have been in the lower tier. Injury concerns. Well, if he's a long-term absence, he's not a concern today, is he? Luca Killian. They'll have already absorbed that in. Wolfsburg, 80th anniversary. So there we go. That's an out of the blue motivator, isn't it? That could give you something. Given Köln's exceptional start to the season, Wolfsburg inconsistent home form, an upset or a high-scoring draw seems plausible. While the Wolf has a good historical record against Köln, current momentum and attacking output of the away side are hard to ignore. So that's saying 2-2. I don't know if you want to follow that as a possible trading angle. It makes sense. It covers the next team to score a goal as well. And it looks for a comeback from the home side. There we go. Ream are starting to wake up. So I will be. Oh, we've got suspenders. Have I missed the opportunity for Wolfsburg? Let's go and have a look at Anansi and Ream. The match is not on. That is a pity. You can see, can't you, the possibilities late on. So let's just check out. I'm not hearing anything from anything, so hopefully you can still hear me okay. No, this looks like it's been suspended for a long time. That's a real pity. Could have done with that one. And also Ream. Colding were looking excellent, but this was a good one for insurance. Had you looked at the Colding stats overall, you'd have been happy enough, I think, to have taken on Hovedovra, but thankfully I didn't bother. It's a lower tier. I can put that one very low down the totem pole, and I would prefer to choose a better league than that. 2.25 the favourite, Cagliari and Parma. I think Parma newly promoted. Let's have a look. Sassuolo, Pisa and Cremonese. So no, Parma looks as if they survived from last season. Brøndby have scored first against Copenhagen. Be very careful with Copenhagen. They are severely impacted by the Champions League. A loss, conceding first in the last match, having to come from behind, probably ending a 2-2, I think, that one. Now they've conceded first against Brøndby. Be very careful. They are severely distracted by this Champions League. I'll keep an eye on them because they do have a tendency to come from behind. What they'll have done in this first half is rest El Nesri, I think his name is. They keep doing that, and then they bring the cavalry on either at the beginning of the second half or after about the 60th minute mark, and then we start seeing the momentum turn up in Copenhagen's favour. So watch out for that second half, but they are certainly on that Champions League list for cocking it up. You see Dortmund after 18 minutes against Heidenheim, just warming up. Cagliari and Parma, they're not newly promoted Parma. I don't have a strong angle here, as befits. 2.25 the favourite. First half, Juve Stabia, 2 consecutive draws. They'd be keen to see that draw sequence end. Decent enough. I like that 30 attacks to 8. It tells you the story, doesn't it, really, of the match. And as does this momentum graph here. Blue is the home, brown is the away. You can quite clearly see home dominance. Modena looking like they deserve their lead. I can get rid of that. I'm not really looking for an angle there. And I was probably looking at Venezia as one of the newly relegated sides, I think, from Serie A. Looks like they've got the lead there. Keep an eye on Copenhagen. I think second half, either straight away or 60 minutes. We'll have a look at Soccer 24 at about 3 o'clock for any team changes. El Nesri, as I say, the suspect, likely to be on the bench. We've got an odds. We've got an evens favourite at home, 0-2 down. It's always a good angle in, but I would prefer to have a stronger home favourite, a far stronger home favourite than evens. You can see there's no ultra dominance from Banik Ostrava. It is half time. It does fit in. If you wanted to play, we can have a look. My K is sticking again. There we go. Banik Ostrava, Slovan Liberec. All right, is Betfair down? Is Betfair down? Let's have a look. Is Betfair down, anybody? Do you know if Betfair is down? If anyone's watching, Seeing a lot of suspended markets. You can see there. Let's have a look at the Brighton match. So is anybody's Betfair working? Oh, there we go. So it must be, yeah, it looks, the market is moving. So Michael says he thinks it's down. So I'll wait. It could just be there's a few matches down, or they don't have the link to those matches. Normally see a problem with this as well. But, no. You can see the dominance of Köln at the moment. So we don't have to rush in with the Wolves just yet, but I would suspect both teams to score. Could be on the cards. It's all about whether it will be 0-2 to 1-2 or whether it will be 0-1 to 1-1. Get rid of a few of these. Well, if Betfair is down, oh, Bosun's Betfair's working. Thank you, Bosun. It must just be some of these lower tier matches. They've had trouble with the Norwegian First Division. You saw yesterday they had trouble with, who was it? Yesterday, I think it was De Graafschap, wasn't it? This, we placed our trade, and then the market was suspended until the end of the match. Couldn't get anything on. So you have to be very, very careful. This happened in the Norwegian First Division, Swedish Superettan, I've noticed, and the Easter Division yesterday. So just a little bit of caution with these lower tiers. Brøndby, it shouldn't really matter. It's a Champions League side, Copenhagen. Two well-known teams for football traders as well. They do suspend at half-time as well, I've noticed. That could be the reason for that suspend. I don't know why they suspend at half-time. It would be nice if you manage your positions or enter for the beginning of the second half, but there we go. Dortmund are starting to wake up. Well, there you go. Red card Heidenheim. That's the reason why they have woken up. And that's just come on board now. Real Oviedo, newly promoted. Welcome to La Liga. This was a must-win for Getafe today, and they've done the job. Are Dortmund going to lead before half-time? Don't forget, this is pre-Champions League for Dortmund. So you might see a wilted performance today, a muted performance, but a winning performance. So, gone. So everything is, yeah, everything's suspended, I fear. So with that in mind, if it continues like this, I'll have to say goodbye to the live stream, of course. Yeah, looks like there's suspenders all around town. What a pity. It's looking to be a pretty decent trading day as well. So, yeah, all the in-play football is suspended, said Michael. David says Betfair's okay, but I'll give it till 3 o'clock. Betfair will be keen to get back on at 3 o'clock because that's a huge amount of money in commission they're going to be losing. So just sit back and hope. And in the meantime, just keep an eye on the matches. Wolfsburg, no reaction yet, as you can quite clearly see. These are tricky matches. Newly promoted, playing them for the first time. As I said, it could just be that their tactics just rub Wolfsburg up the wrong way. The mighty Hoff, no goals yet. That's a bit of a surprise. We normally see plenty from the Hoff before half-time. If you wanted to keep that pattern going, and if we could get on, of course. I'll just quiet that. You could look It's starting to lay the 0-0 in the half-time score market. They have an excellent record of goals before half-time, the Hoff. It's all dependent on whether they can deliver. As you can see, Dortmund would be a good play for me. Goals before half-time. But looks like nothing doing. It would be a good one to look at possibility of a 0-1, 0-2, for example. There's that Stade Reims equaliser. I'm absolutely gutted. I gave you the shout for that one. Well worked out, and off we go. A late equaliser. So that's costing us money, this suspension. So hopefully 3:05 we will have some news. Betfair, of course, you can bet they're going to be ultra keen to get on at 3 o'clock. As I say, it's a coupon with promise today. If we could have had a play. Premier League all suspended as well. Well, that's strange, isn't it? Premier League live. Let's have a look at the Championship then. Is it these other leagues? We might have some action then. Can anybody else confirm that the Premier League is working? Frank Lampard, Coventry. We've got market forces, or is it just static? Yeah. I've got my refresh. I was trying to suss out horse racing trading, but it's too quick for me. I'm sticking with football. Just wanted to use my afternoons to try to win some money. Is this market working or not? There. Yes. So I think we might have some elite football on at 3 o'clock. What a pity that Ream went by the by. So the 3 o'clocks I'll have. I need to get soccer 24 up. UK's not in play yet. 3 o'clock will tell us the story. Indeed, yes. It was a shame, Michael. Gutted with that. Germany matches seem suspended. All UK working so far, says Bosun. So we'll hope that we get the English Championship, League One, League Two. Give us a little bit of ammunition to work off. Look at that. Stop it. Right, let's keep an eye on Coventry and Norwich. Are these going to go in play? It's not as busy a market as you'd normally expect. So has it been suspended a little bit earlier? And the total matched is not moving either. So is this just a placeholder? You can see the total matched not moving. And that doesn't occur. So let's go and have a look at Everton against Aston Villa. $278,128. There we go. That's moving. Look, that's moving. I don't think the Coventry match would have been that static for that long. Maybe I'm right, or maybe this market's now in play. And it's looking like it is an in-play market, doesn't it? So we have some promise. We'll play it by ear. Okay, if there is a trade, we'll investigate the market. And if we can get on, great. If we can't, we can't. Good stuff. Callier and Palmer, I don't have a strong opinion. Maybe when I look at the in-play stats, you can see Palmer doing a decent enough job. Juve, Stabia and Reggiana. We can have a quick look at this one. Any early season suggestion of second half goals? Well, I saw a 0-0 there, so that's not very good. Against Venezia. And a 1-1 against Inter saw 2 second half goals. Leonardo Candeloni and Ivan Marconi. We've had both teams to score in Reggiana's 2 matches, but we've seen goals before half time. We haven't seen that today. So they do concede, or they have seen second half goals. So that's promising. 4 second half goals there. So keep an eye on that. Juve Stabia, pre-match odds on, knocking on the door. Could be a good one to lay over 0.5 goals and sit on it. If, of course, it's live. If it's not live, then there's no point discussing it. Let's have a look. Yeah, what a pity. I'll keep it up there because that would be a good lay the draw candidate with a cover of 0-0. We'll keep that up there in case Copenhagen wake up in the second half, as has been their tradition in pre-Champions League matches. We can have a look now while it's a little quiet in Belgium, in Denmark, at the likely substitute. Oh, well, no, El Nusi's playing from the off. This is their key man. They've obviously learned a lesson because they've only conceded a penalty. So this is not panic, Mr. Mannering, at all. Could be a decent play. That is notable. He's normally on the bench for the first half, along with a few other well-known Copenhagen players. And then they come on second half, like the cavalry, and get them out of jail. So I think this might be a good candidate for a trade, particularly with Brøndby losing 3 consecutive matches, the last 2 both teams scoring. In the Champions League as well. Unbeaten recently, Copenhagen, but notably, that's what stuck in my mind after the Champions League. And then we've got that difficult match against Odense, just under par on both occasions, all down to a team change. So with El Nusi playing from the off and with the opening goal being just a penalty, we might have an angle in here. And Dortmund, as I said, 0-2. 0-1, 0-2 in a half-time score market. We couldn't get on. What a pity. What a pity. 2 great calls there. Brøndby, I don't think we'll be able to get on either, will we? So I'll keep it in mind in case it comes alive again. Oh, it would have been quite tempting, I think, but I'll just wait in case it mentions it coming live again. Right, let's have a quick walk through the 3 o'clocks that are coming on board. Exeter and Port Vale. So what we're going to do now, over at Soccer 24, is to get our odds on favourite list up, particularly for Championship League 1 and League 2. Now, if that Port Vale goal has appeared, it will come up on this list. So it hasn't. You can see it's a very difficult coupon today in League 1 and League 2. These are the only odds on favourites. So that's a warning sign that the in-play stats are vitally important today. So Juve Stabia, I don't think we could play that. What a pity. We'll see if Brøndby comes on board. We'll say goodbye to Banach Ostrava. Probably can't get on that one either. Poulsen have scored first. That will be interesting to follow in the second half to see whether Lusitania can get the goal. 0-1, we can get rid of that already. And you've seen no reaction yet from Wolfsburg, and we haven't really seen an increase in stats, so maybe the stats feed is down. I'll have to confirm that. Union Berlin starting well against the mighty Hoff. If this was live, I'm not sure if it is. You Could have a look in the half-time market if you fancied it. Remember their reputation for goals before half-time, but looks as if it can't be played. What a pity. Rangers have to win. Well, I'm not putting my money on Rangers. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, the German matches are suspended. Looks like all the English are doing okay. So we've got something to cling on to, but it's a pity. Just wetting the whistle. So just clear up a few of these as I work my way down. Wait for goals to come in. Samsunspor Super League. Odds on favourite at home. Always worth a look. Galatasaray involved in the Champions League this week. Could slip up against the Turkish Yorkshireman. Eyüpspor. Fan-twatting-tastic. Aye. Great stuff. Aye. Nora Batty. She's the assistant manager, Nora Batty. So we'll just clean up a bit of this while there's no goals coming in. We don't need to play the lower tiers today. We should have a greater choice from better leagues. I would still keep an eye on the Secunda, and this could be a potential banana skin for Real Madrid post-international break, pre-Champions League. Is it going to catch them out? I would suspect the SPL might be a little bit lacking. As Bosun says, Rangers are playing Hearts today. Hearts are normally delivering when they're odds on favourite. So the market could be telling today, as you say, it's a must win. But the title has already gone. They're already out of the Champions League. It's an awful time for Scottish football at the moment. Apart from the under 21s who got me a nice win midweek. And against Belarus as well, the big boys. We can't play these lower tiers anyway in Scotland, so I might as well get rid of them. Avoid any great distraction. So we'll just... I'll get the Rangers goal anyway when because I'm on my odds on favourite list. Corona Kielce look very strong favs. They've already scored first. Mulder tend to deliver when odds on, so I'll keep an eye on them today. We've got a goal coming in. Sheffield Wednesday against Bristol City, if that's on our odds on favourite list, and it is, we can investigate this match. Who's the odds on favourite? The odds on favourite is the team who has scored first. So no immediate trading angle there for me. It's a nice and quick technique, and it does produce a decent strike rate, particularly if you make sure that the odds on favourite is delivering with decent in-play stats. But it's the odds on favourite who has scored first there, so we don't have any real play there. Let's get rid of a few of these Norwegian matches. We don't have to play the first division, but I will. Well, Lillestrøm have already scored. I was going to say I will follow Lillestrøm. Likely to remain unbeaten this season. They are your archetypal, newly relegated and having a hell of a time in the lesser league. Brilliant season. Straight back up. That's what they would want. You don't want to be in the Bundesliga 2, for example. It's like purgatory. You'll never get out. Only 3 places. Barnsley against Reading. Is that an odds-on favourite match? Indeed, it is. So we can investigate that one now. Barnsley and Reading. And we've got some odds-on favourite goals coming in, as you can see. So we've got the 1.81 favourite scoring first with home advantage. I would be interested if Reading had scored first because I like odds-on favourites at home. They tend to perform a lot better. You saw Schalke earlier on. They didn't score, but they didn't concede that second goal. And that, for me, is all I'm asking for. Look as if you're going to equalise, but don't concede. So that's why we've got this odds-on favourite list. It does work well in these lower tiers as well and allows us an interest in these lower tiers where ordinarily I would be very dismissive of them. So let's just have a walk down here. Leipzig and Mainz is what I could describe as a derby style match. Two sides, you can tell 2.4 the favourite as well. A difficult match to trade. So I've been picking my battles well this whole week. I'm hoping to continue that with you as well. Patience, I think, has really paid off for me in these past 2 weeks. I've had days where I've not touched Betfair at all, and that's the discipline you need. You don't want to start scratching that itch in the Peruvian ladies under 12s division. Wigan Athletic against Donny. Again, go through our little routine. Is this an odds-on favourite match? If it is, it will appear at the bottom here. I'm not going to get too carried away with the Oberliga when we've got the Bundesliga. We don't really have any plays at the moment. Stuttgart have been performing well, but it's 2.63 the favourite, so that tells you to default straight to the market. Don't necessarily default to the in-play stats. You can't trust the market because they don't have a clue. The Veikkausliiga is now split into championship and relegation. So the relegation lot, they're all dodge pots playing each other. The championship lot, they're all pretty decent sides playing each other. FC Inter have been the absolute standout performer. I'll keep an eye out on them. We've got a hacker red card, 76th minute. Don't get too carried away. Once the league splits up in two, I don't really like it because, as I've just alluded to, the top half are playing decent enough teams, aren't they? We don't have any shots on target, Everton and Aston Villa. No shots on target stats as yet. So keep an eye on that. It's all about that boy Grealish, isn't it, at Everton? Aston Villa, desperate need for goals, or a goal at least. Tough nut to crack. Bournemouth against Brighton, 2.38 the favourite. You don't have to play. That's what I'm talking about, patience. Just because it's in the Premier League, you don't have to play. I would be severely expecting the Eagles to drown out the Black Cats today, really, on their current form. They do have a bit of an injury list, and you'll have seen that, as I say, with the AI. So look out for this. I'll be trying to do as many of these articles as possible because they will showcase the ultra up-to-date information on injuries and external factors such as the Barcelona match upcoming. So do look out. Wissa, Ramsey, Gordon, that's important. Okay, so these are done on the day. And I think I've made sure that the app includes, as part of its process, ensuring that all of the information it provides is up to date via a web search rather than its own memory. So they're all available for you if you want to check injuries, etc. Not something I do in my usual research. So no interest there. Lusitania, again, this would be a lay the draw for me if I could get on. And this really cost me money, this, to be honest. Because if I'm hoovering up, like yesterday, for example, I only had 2 trades yesterday. One of them was a £38 winner and the other one was a £7 winner. So that's 45 quid in total. And that's £7. You can make a few of them per day. Simple lay the draw, cash out when the goal arrives, particularly for Lusitania, for example. Pick up the profit there. It could be £7 to 10, 11 quid. It does add up. If your goal is 3-figure return for a trading session, then that takes on even greater significance. It's a percentage. Anything you earn is a percentage of that. So that's 7% plus the 38%, plus the 12 quid here, plus the 7 quid here, maybe 11 quid over there. And then maybe you get the big win a bit later on. Plymouth scored first against Luton. This could be the possible first play of the day. So I'm bringing that one up. We've got a home odds-on favourite, which I immediately like. Is it? Yes, it is open. But newbies, if I say lay the draw or lay over 1.5 goals, newbies will pile on there. You've got to give this some breathing space. Only £1,500 matched in a day where I think some Betfair marketers or Betfair traders may have given it a miss because of all the matches which looked suspended. This is not going to attract huge liquidity in that over 1.5 goal market, so wait for it to tighten up. We can have a quick look. I don't know these two very well, but I do know Luton, of course, should be doing a little strong. You'd have thought. So can we find? Oh, it's English League One, isn't it? Is it? So they've gone down a little bit. Boy. Yeah, Luton Town, the Hatters. It's a bit of a collapse. And there's the goal for the mighty Hoff before half-time. And now I'm getting even more frustrated because I gave you that as well. And we couldn't get in to the market. When you get these suspensions, you see, it can cost you a lot of money. So let's have a look early season. No draw yet this season. Sigma Olomouc, Brighton have scored. Bournemouth scored first game. Brighton don't have a strong angle there. Look at that. I told you, goal before half-time for the mighty Hoff. No draw yet this season for either of these two. 0-0 is, of course, a draw. Plymouth are starting to win, but at home. 3 out of 3 away defeats, conceding at least 2 goals. They have opened the scoring today. Well, they were done there. I'm just seeing if they've opened the scoring in any of their previous matches and had it come back. No, they haven't. So, well, they have opened the scoring there. And it's not been just in that one. Okay. Luton Town looking okay, aren't they? But few too many 1-0s. And what does that mean? You can't concede a goal if you're aiming for a 1-0. Because guess what? If you're scoring your goal for your 1-0, but you've conceded. You're scoring or not scoring your goal for the 1-0, but you're not keeping a clean sheet. So you're not going to be winning 1-0. That's more like it. So have a look at the challenge table. It doesn't tell us much, but it does tell us that the early season top 2 are the only teams to have beaten Luton so far. Clean sheets normally against 15th and lower. But again, as you can see, the form is very, very sporadic. But that could be telling, couldn't it? Tight defeats against two sides obviously having a solid early season. So I'm warming to this one, I think. Luton Town and where was it? I'll just check this out. Norwich have scored. Real Madrid calmed the nerves against Real Sociedad. And Coventry, we might have a play there with our old pal, Fat Frank, doing a superb job. English League One, Luton. You just check the in-play stats. Luton against Plymouth. I think, well, 11-3. I'm going to have a go at this one. Oh, come on. Don't tell me it's 1-1. That would have been nice, that, 109. Luton +1. Well, we don't know. Match odds. Oh, I was going to say, is the Betfair market down? Is this an equaliser? I hope not. Not just yet, anyway. So Coventry will be our next match of interest after Luton Town. If we can get on Luton. Again, just wait for the market to settle down, please. Oh, they've done it already. Oh, come on. I need these profits, you know. Hoovering them up So I hope you got on quicker than I did. You can see the goals coming in. We've got a 0-2 lead for Bristol City. We know red card is involved. Real Madrid has had a goal disallowed. Coventry and Norwich, we know, I think, that Coventry are the odds-on favourite here. So we've got a potential angle here with Norwich. Coventry, I hope, are one of our old reliables. So let's have a look at the Championship. So please try and get on these quicker than I do, because you're not facilitating, so you can pile in. Once you hear the word Luton, off you go. Get to the match, and then if you hear the argument is a good argument, get stuck in quicker than I did. Yes, we've got to play Coventry for sure. Look at this. Now, can I get on quickly enough? We're going to have a lay the draw, I think, Luton and Plymouth. I like teams who come from behind quickly, particularly at home. So, again, I'm just going to lay over 1.5 goals here. And have a look at Coventry +1 firstly. If it's reasonable enough, I'll stop there. No, it's not. Reasonable for me is 1.8 or higher. So this is why I've got the 20s. They're already waiting. Back Coventry, half stake. Lay Norwich, half stake as liability. That brings a smaller loss on the draw to try to tempt you to stay in. If you did that with Darmstadt, you'd have walked away with 55 quid. At its highest, 73 quid for Darmstadt. So if you're willing to take a 7 quid hit when it gets to a draw, you've got that waiting for you. So does that make sense? That's your 40 quid covered by that. So we've got 0-1 covered. 0-2, of course, is a killer. 0-3 is a killer. 1-3 is a killer. But we've done our checks. We've got an odds-on favourite at home. We've got no shots on, 6 off 2 corners. I like that already. We can do a double check again. You can look at the type of goal for Norwich, which Stephen is very good at. If it says pen, or if it says own goal, OG, pen, as we saw with that previous match, then that should increase your confidence in wanting to trade Coventry today. Odds on favourites at home, I'm hoping will deliver. It is, though, a very competitive Championship. Hearts have taken the league, and look at that. Wolfsburg have equalised against FC Köln. This is turning into a day where I'm going to write a letter to Betfair and ask for my winnings, please. I've been in this good form, and when you're in this kind of good form, you've got to make the betting bank grow. Rangers and Hearts, well, you're going to have to be howling Mad Murdoch if you're backing Rangers at this particular moment, particularly against last season's third in the league. This Rangers side is an embarrassment at the moment. I think it's one of those matches I hid by accident, so I'll have to keep an eye out on the in-play stats on that one. It's probably going to need the in-play stats, so all of my hard work hiding is going to have to be unhidden, because I have to get Rangers, because they are at home again, and they do have as Bosun has said, it is a must win, but they are playing third in the league, and they are in the most ridiculous form you've seen for quite a while. Where is the Rangers match? Oh, it's already up there. There we go. So we will wait and see. 1.73 home favourite. Looks like that goal might have been disallowed. We'll have to see. Lillestrøm and Sogndal could be a lay the draw. So we can bring that one up, and I'll just pass this on to Telegram. There are a lot of matches down on Betfair today, but some of the major leagues are still up and running. I think Coventry can get an equaliser against Norwich. At least that's what the market says, and that's what the in-play stats say as well. So I've laid over 1.5 goals. Back Coventry half stakes, laid Norwich half stake as liability. So let's take a look through. We can have a look at the Premier League as well. do like what I'm seeing from Everton at the moment, particularly with that boy Grealish. Yeah, 0-1 Rangers and Hearts. Okay. We'll have to look at that Rangers match. I'm not going to pile in, particularly with a full stake when they're in this woeful form. Absolutely appalling. I thought that was 1-1. Wolfsburg. And there's a Copenhagen equaliser, 64th minute. I'm sorry. Again, it's another one we would have played. The absolute, I said 60th minute. So this is a very frustrating day. Are they back yet? Luton Plymouth 1-1 as well. And it's back on. But at the wrong time. After the goal has been scored. Oh, and I bet you Copenhagen is back as well. Oh, this is so frustrating, isn't it? Because you don't know when your next profitable trade is going to come. So you've got to get stuck in when you get a nice run. This is still offline. So I hope you're all okay. German matches are back indeed. Plymouth with the pen, says Gordon. And we got that equaliser already, but I didn't get there in time. You saw, just about to pull the trigger. We're looking good for Coventry, I think, aren't we? You can tell that is lighting up the correct stats. Odds on favourite at home, early enough in the match. If we can get a 1-1 before half time for Fat Frank and the crew, then we'll be okay. In all honesty, I don't think I'll be playing Cagliari and Parma. Bromley and Copenhagen we can't play, which is a pity. I would have called that equaliser, as I said, 60th minute onwards, or with any significant substitution changes. Lusitania we can't play. Salford and the Shrews. Salford and the Shrews. Salford were an excellent trading side last week, but they're not odds on favourite today, otherwise they'd be on the list. Bristol City making it 2-0. Luton Town and Plymouth, likely to see Luton test that draw at some point as well. Like what I'm seeing from Freiburg, but it's 2.63 the favourite. So if you are going to play, you'll have to play via in-play stats because the market is not helping us at all. Let's have a first look through the Premier League. Everton bossing Aston Villa. Aston Villa, something is up, particularly up front. It's just not working. Got some goals coming in. There's the Real Madrid goal against Real Sociedad. That will calm their nerves because this is the weekend where you're going to lose. If there's ever going to be a loss, it's going to occur post-international, pre-Champions League. So Madrid doing okay, but I would suggest you could look at laying these shorties, particularly when they're leading comfortably. You've seen the slip-ups. Bayern Munich famously last year against one of the sides beginning with S that ended 3-3 or something when they were 3-0 up. So well worth doing, particularly post-international, pre-Champions League. The Geordies have an opening goal against Wolves. You'd have expected that. Wolves did get 2 goals against Everton last week. I'm just working my way down to E for England. And then we can have a look through the Premier League at the very least. And Fredrikstad scored first against Mulder. You saw Mulder's in-play stats were suggesting they could do something. So I might look on with that one with interest. So just work our way down to the Premier League now. Bournemouth and Brighton, Newcastle and Wolves. Wolves did score 2 against Everton. That has me interested. Strand Larson. Fulham against Leeds. I would have expected Fulham to have eyed 3 points here today. Leeds have to show that they are as good away from home as they are at home. English League 2. Again, it's going to be based on the odds on favourites only really for me in English League 2. That could pique our interest if Doncaster continue pile in the shots on and off target. Taking on a side 2-0 up will always get you short odds, low liability play. So we've got our odds on, got our goals coming in. Got to just check if they're on our odds on list. Swindon, for example, against Harrogate. Mulder against Fred. I will get this one up because I liked what I saw earlier on from Mulder. Odds on favourite pre-match. They have hinted at being the Mulder of old. It's all weather. It's open to us, which it is. So this might interest me, particularly. That's a short insurance premium, isn't it? Mulder and Fred. I'll have to do a little bit of research first on this one. That's the only reason I'm looking at, because it's on our odds on favourite list. We're just checking it out. I like their in-play stats initially. They have been a bit scattergun. It would be great, wouldn't it, if we could get a list of their odds to go along with the results. That will determine how they perform at odds on, for example. Wouldn't that be excellent? I know Bet Explorer do it. But for example, having brackets here, 1.6 or something, 1.8, 1.7, and then you can get a pattern when they are X odds at home tend to deliver. You see the clean sheets here as well. That's of interest. You see the 3 draws as well. That's of interest. They did beat Mulder 4-2. That could be sticking in the back of their mind. But it was a 0-2 lead for Mulder. But Oscar Erlenschlager was your man. And an own goal to just add a little bit of spice to the end. So a lot of late goals. I think there's potential here for Mulder to come back into this. They led twice in this match as well, Fred, with home advantage. Led twice in this match with home advantage. So not the best habit at the moment. Mulder, 4 consecutive home wins is the kind of form traders will be looking on. But this is what I'm talking about. You've just seen 4 consecutive home wins. Right. Have they just been occurring against the bottom 4? Because otherwise, that's awful form to trust, isn't it? Conceding 2+ goals against mid-table mediocrity for some reason. It's not the best form in the world, is it? But this lot, do they really score 2 goals away from home? They've only done so once. So it's finely balanced, isn't it? It's not the strongest home favourite in the world, looking at all this. But then the away side is not scoring 2 goals. So that defers now to the in-play stats. I want to be seeing a more comprehensive set of these stats from Mulder. Kazim Passer, QPR and Wrexham. Again, any odds on favourite matches? Yes, we do. We've got Dundee, Motherwell, QPR and Wrexham. So let's have a look at these ones. Dundee, Motherwell. Where are you? QPR and Wrexham. Oh, they're in Scotland, of course. Yeah, QPR and Wrexham. 0-1. Gone from 1.76 out to 2.1. I might just have a look at that one. So that's Wrexham. We'll just see. That's English Championship. Okay. So this is a little confusing. It's in alphabetical order. English Championship. There we go. Wrexham and QPR. Bristol City doing what an odds-on favourite's expected to do. And we've got that again. It's a pre-Champions League, so be very cautious here with this one. Dundee against Motherwell. The SPL was very tradable last week. Again, we've got a drift. I don't know why I've starred this one. It's not an odds-on favourite. the other two were. So I will ignore that from an odds-on favourite perspective. Stockport against Cardiff. They're coming up on the list. No, they're not. Right, so let's take another look through. Wolfsburg and Köln, now they've got the goal back, Wolfsburg, and we've missed the opportunity. Is that draw vulnerable second half? You've seen Köln tend to avoid the draw. Two great starts to the Bundesliga. Did have a draw last time, Mainz. It's not going to be top of my lay the draw list. If it was 0-0, yes, perhaps, I think, because you've got a home side looking to take on a newly promoted side. And the manager will have targeted 3 points, you'll have guessed already. Freiburg against Stuttgart, 2.63 the favourite. So it's up to you if you play or not. It's as simple as that. If the professionals can't pick a winner, what chance do you have? So the only thing you have to rely upon is this. Now Stuttgart have had to play the coming from behind card recently. So this is an unknown really for them. And the mighty Hoff getting those goals before half-time. What a pity. Another great call that we couldn't follow up on. Everton against Aston Villa. You're going to get a reaction from the villains, aren't you, to their recent poor form. But it's really good pressure from Everton at the moment. You don't know with Moyes, do you, whether it's going to be the reverting back to the 1-0 itis or whether they're going to get that 2-goal haul that we've become used to recently. One shot on 6 off 3 corners, looking to dominate. And they are at the moment. We're just looking for Wrexham. We know what they're like. Ryan Reynolds' boys. They do score and concede. They are better laid when leading about 2-0. That's what I've noticed. Guniston and Inter. I would be looking at Inter dominating this one. 6 corners already. Palace and Sunderland. A good defensive display from the Black Cats, you'll have to say, so far. You can keep this Crystal Palace side quiet. You are doing an excellent job. So no odds-on favourites there. VPS and KTP. Don't have to look too much. I wonder if we can lay the draw second half. This is another one of those matches, I'm warning you. It's another newly promoted side. Could be an unknown factor for the home side, couldn't it? There was some talk in the AII article about some injuries to Crystal Palace. So let me bring that up. It did provide an under 2.5 goals and a Coventry, a Chelsea, I'll get this C's right, a Palace win. Riding momentum, yeah. Wharton out, Ismail Sarr, Doucouré, Eddie Nketiah, big miss. Riyad as well. Pino, new signing. Mateta is your key man. And Traore, Brobbery. You remember Mr. Brobby? Noel Edmonds' best mate from Ajax, Mr. Brobby. He's a good signing. I wonder if his goal scoring, it's not quite on par with Luis Suarez when he was at Ajax, but he is an attacking talent. So hopefully, once they get him up and running, they can do something. So we've got some injury concerns. But Palace are unbeaten in the last 7 at home at Sellers Park. This Palace to win an under 3.5 goals at 11-10. This is what the AI comes up with. That's why I call it AII. If you want, this is the up-to-date information and what AI is coming up with. Choosing the best bets that are out there. Mateta, 7-2 favourite to score. Under 10.5 corners, both teams to score. Offered at evens, but Sunderland's scoring problem. It's the attack, it's the defence that's working for them. And yet another play coming in today. Getting a bit frustrated with that. I'd be up near the £100 mark already for the day. Had all of this been live, that would have been wonderful. Union Berlin and the Hoff. Both teams to score, you know the usual rules. Peterborough 2, Wickham 0. No odds on favourite there. So possibilities that Stuttgart might be labelled. Hope you're all okay. Villa has striker issues. Watkins not up to the task of leading the front line. You're quite right, Bosun. Quite right. It's not a strength in depth forward three, is it? It's not like Liverpool. And that's 1-3 to the mighty Hoff. They are by far the greatest team the world has ever seen. Swans against Hull City. Now we've got an odds-on favourite goal coming in. Let's see. In the Championship, the odds-on favourite side has scored first. This is also good for second half. If you want to target the nil-nils in odds-on favourite matches, play the draw second half, you might just get a decent enough strike rate. So that's the reason for Dinny's odds-on favourite list. Coventry are doing everything apart from scoring. That's exactly what I want to see from a side I've trusted to get an equaliser. Keep a lid on Norwich and, well, could do with generating a few more shots on target, couldn't they? So let's work our way down again. Just got to keep looking at these in-play stats as the matches develop. Don't think there's going to be any more plays here for the mighty Hoff. Everton, possible second half breakthrough at some point. Work our way down. And Crystal Palace Sunderland again, it would surprise me greatly if this were to remain 0-0, but this is as tight as it gets, isn't it? Even down to the attacks. So a very, very good defensive display. And you'll see some matches where this is just as flat as a pancake. And it just suggests it's either going to be a 0-0 or a 1-0. So very, very quiet. Not quite what we'd expect. Mulder, yet to convince me, but they have had twice as many attacks as Fred. It's just that really poor form against mid-table sides, home and away. Newcastle doing what you'd expect. Luton, I would expect a possible pressurise that draw second half. Wigan, 2.5 to favourite. I'll give that one a miss. Rangers, 1 shot on 3 off and 3 corners. 14 attacks to 19. So you can see third in the league. Hearts is going to be giving them a game. This is not a strong play at all. You could do it over 2.5 goals if you wanted. If you couldn't trust the side, I'll get rid of this one. It's going to take up the memory. So Estoril in Portugal. Let's have a look. Again, odds on favourite scoring. And scoring first. So no trade there. Coventry, man, could do with that goal before half time. Because the longer it becomes 0-1, the more you're vulnerable to a late Norwich penalty or an own goal or a set piece or a corner to make it 0-2. West Brom coming to the end of the first half, 100 attacking pressure index. Normally when you see that, you might want to have a play in the half-time markets if they're liquid enough. Just like this. Let's give it a bit of a go. In case we get that West Brom pressure tell. 0-2 QPR now against Wrexham. I would prefer it the other way around. I would be laying Wrexham as they were 2-0 up. Might go for another one as well. Whenever you see 100 plus, I would recommend jumping on. If the momentum drops, drop out and you'll only make a marginal loss. 2-0 Newcastle against Wolves. So could be a good time to lay Newcastle with Wolves scoring 2 goals against Everton last time out. Champions League as well for Newcastle. They might be resting some players with the 2-goal advantage. As I've said, I've recommended this. Benfica, you'd have cleaned up. 1.17, decent enough. You can wait for the second half, I would suspect. Exeter 0, Port Vale 2. So we know Wrexham are odds on. That might be a good time to play. Odds on at home as well. So we come to half time, and I'll take a small break at half time. And Swansea and Hull, that's an equaliser there, not a match I'm too interested in at the moment. Luton look good. Let's just have a quick walk through and just a tidy up of some of these. I like to do it manually because if there's any that catch the eye, then you can check the liquidity of the market and whether it's worth pursuing. For example, we know this league is pretty good, and that's kind of odds for an odds on favourite losing. Samsunspor there. So Samsunspor will be worth pursuing. If you want to do that yourself now, go on over to soccerstats.com, check out the Samsunspor stats, and you'll see whether they're deserving of the odds on quote this season and whether we can get that equaliser. 3-0 lead, we can get rid of that one. We can get rid of these lower tiers as well. We just don't want distractions, even down here as well. We don't need to be going into the lower tiers of Sweden unless we're desperate. So just keep a look through. Any potential trade, particularly when we get down to these type of leagues, will be worth looking at. 3-0 to Bristol Rovers at the moment. Cadiz and Ibar, no shots on target. Oh, sorry, we're not going to be going to this. Real Madrid, again, 0-1 lead. Only in this unique weekend would I recommend laying these favourites 2-0 up, 1-0 up, like Newcastle. That Champions League does play on teams' minds more than you know. Dundee against Motherwell, likely Motherwell, the odds-on favourites, looking absolutely dominant in that match. That would be one I would star if it was a 0-0, certainly. So this little exercise of deleting and saving, if this is liquid enough, you could have a lay the draw second half at decent odds. So you can check that one out if you'd like as well. Stranraer against Spartans. See whether the draw odds are reasonably short or not. That's the only real way I would play these lower tiers because they're just lacking liquidity. But you might just get something in the draw odds. They might just be liquid enough to have a tickle and hope that the 11 men end that draw sequence. I would keep an eye as well on Ross County as a newly relegated side, but they're not performing very well in this lower tier. St Johnstone as well as a newly relegated side. So that's it at the moment. Ajax have scored against Pek Zwolle. Again, keep an eye on them. Champions League bound as well. You never know. They might just struggle. Well, Freiburg are putting in some good stats to suggest an equaliser. Do you trust the stats? Stuttgart's recent matches, don't forget we've had the international break, so that does blunt form lines a little bit. But the whole point of me doing the research is so I can access it quickly. So I'm just trying to get... I don't go to the website as a customer, so I don't know where to look. So it'll be down here. So do have a read of these AIIs. It's bang up to date information with injuries, etc. And you might find some angles or some of the research, you might find it useful. 2 consecutive defeats for Freiburg, both teams scoring and conceding 3 goals minimum in each. Goals before half time, loss, win. Impressed with their in-play stats, so note that. Yes, they have caught the eye, and Plymouth have taken a lead against Luton Town. Can we get involved again? Check the goal out. Maybe Stephen's done that already. So let's check that out. check that Plymouth goal out. Was it a cock-up? Excuse me. Well, we don't know as yet. That's come right at the end of the first half. So it doesn't make that much appeal, does it? A Yates penalty for an odds-on favourite getting the equaliser. You can also check. There's some stats about goals coming from errors. That's quite a good stat as well. Errors leading to a goal. So there's been one error leading to a goal, as you can see there. So I like that stat. I like the goalkeeping stats as well. Gives a good indication of strength. We might have another play here, Luton Town, I would say. I missed the first one. This is a little careless of them to be done right at the end of the half. 1.57 home favourites. So in this case, to cover the insurance, you'd be laying over 3.5 goals, wouldn't you? You have to cover the 1-2. Thankfully, I've delayed with Mulder. They haven't had a significant shot on target yet. Newcastle remains, is it 1-0? I thought it was 2-0. Let's just double check that. One 0 or 2-0. So it's a bit slow. This could be the start of the Wi-Fi playing up. I warned you about it at the start. Right, let's just go back. It's just confusing me, that. Sorry about that. Let's just go through again. Everton and Aston Villa. Are you going to lay the draw second half? 2-goal heroes at the moment. And Mulder and Fred 0-2. So I'm glad I held firm there and didn't get stuck in. That's the advantage of when we have elite leagues. We can just take our time with these lesser leagues. Don't have to pile in. Everton and Aston Villa. Second half goals. Is that a pattern? Let's have a look. Now, the problem with the second half goals is Aston Villa haven't been contributing goals, let alone second half goals. So if you're neutral and you want to lay the draw, you're only really going to be reliant on Everton. So let's take a quick look. I have to go through all these rings. There we go. So really solid stuff. At home, 1 second half goal, 1 first half goal. Failed to score against Leeds. Scored 3. Scored first, led twice, led 3 times. I scored 1 second half goal as well there. Different goal scorers as well. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative. But NDI scored in both matches. Could be an important player today. Sorry if I'm butchering his name. NDI. See if he's playing today. Yes, he is on the right. So that's interesting. Grealish, excellent signing. Absolutely superb. Ollie Watkins, it's just bleak, isn't it? As Bosun said, blunt. If you're relying on the likes of McGinn, he's nearly as old as Joe Biden. You're relying on him for goals. You're in a spot of bother. Who's coming off the bench? Akbon Lahore? I don't think so. Who's your forward to replace Ollie Watkins? So that's the real struggle for Emery at the moment, as Bosun rightly pointed out. It's a very weak attack. So if you're taking a neutral position and laying a draw, you've got to only rely on Everton. But they are 2-goal heroes at the moment, aren't they? Samsunspor against Antalyaspor could be a good trade, this one, couldn't it? 1.65 home favourite. Again, like Coventry, just catching the eye with the shots off target. 31 attacks to 4. And Köln have the lead against the Wolf. Again, newly promoted, playing a team for the first ever time this season. Anything can happen, and this could be an interesting late lay of Köln. We have had, I think, some late goals in their matches, but Samsunspor is starting to niggle at me. So let me get there to make sure it's live and I'm not wasting time on a match which isn't live. So it's a fairly high insurance premium there. +1 should be compensating at over evens. No, it's not. That's a good sign though. If it's 1.8 and over 1.5 goals is 1.3. Just point you towards the match odds. 4.4, which was the same odds as Darmstadt earlier on today. They got the win, albeit they needed a red card. Just going to research this one. Off to the Super League. We're not going to have too many matches to work off. That's the problem here. I don't know these sides. I do know Besiktas, I do know Fenerbahce, etc. Galatasaray. All new managers. That's a good start, isn't it? If you're a trader. Not conceded that second goal and have scored in every single match this season. Now, the icing on the cake would be if they've come from behind on 2 occasions. Well, they have done here. Marius Muandil Maji getting the 88th minute goal. I bet they're chanting his name. Got the win there. And there's Marius Muandil. Now, for me, this is masking a potential problem up front. If that goal there is a penalty, this goal here is an own goal. This goal is from open play. Fair enough. Taliaspor scored 2 goals with home advantage. Have failed to score that second goal away from home. 90th minute concession against Fatih Karagümrük. There's only a small sample of matches to work off. That's the negative there. But it does have the feel of a good play about it, doesn't it? Samsunspor and Antalyaspor. Just got a reasonable feel about it. I like that. I might just have a go myself. Up to you if you wanted to follow me or not. The insurance is going to be reasonably high. And I'll probably go match odds. But this is one of our secondary leagues. It's not an elite league. It's not an elite team in an elite league. So just put that into perspective. I would prefer +1, but there's only a 1.5 return there net. So I'm going to go match odds with a small loss on the draw. It's only a sample of 3 matches. That's the big problem. You might not see the real Antalyaspor. They might have just, or they've gone backwards basically. But no second goal is what I'm hoping for. Hoping for Samsunspor to continue their goal scoring record and to score the next goal. It's a dangerous play, but if you fancied it, off you go. I can absorb this loss. I've had a very good week. I've already made, I think, 50 or 60 quid today already. So if that one doesn't come in, I will still be in a net profit for the day. Although, of course, I'd love the bank to keep getting bigger. And we'll be talking a bit more about staking plans as my bank gets bigger. We'll be looking at locking in a level stake to the size of your bank. So it's not going to be a level stake, is it? It's going to be a percentage of bank stake. So, for example, traders often talk about the 5% rule. So for a £1,000 bank, that's £50 would be your base stake, which is, for me at the moment, it's £40. So if that gets to 1,500, your base stake is going to be £75. And you can see the compounding effect. More stakes, more profit. Pescara and Venezia. Just have a quick look at that one because this is a tough league to get out of, and Venezia, newly relegated, will be ruining. Well, we can't play, so I'll get rid of that one. Real Madrid will be delighted. There's no banana skin there today. So let's just have a look through. Premier Leagues should be beginning. Are you going to be laying the draw Everton and Aston Villa? You can see it's an ultra defensive display from Aston Villa at the moment. Just relying on that and the first 3 matches of the season for Samsunspor, and the fact that Antalyaspor may struggle to score that second goal. We will see whether we'll rue getting involved in a lesser league. Wrexham and QPR. Well, up to you if you want to trust Ryan Reynolds' brigade. 0-2s, you know. Perfect entry points. I'm not sure I can trust them. I would prefer this to be flipped. I would prefer a Wrexham 2-0 lead. Because don't forget, they're newly promoted. You might just get one of the old Warriors like QPR, just with a little bit more nous, you know, a bit more streetwise. Just putting the old boys to task. So that's why I would prefer 2-0 lead for Wrexham to take that on. But 1.18 and 28s if you fancied a tickle. The whole second half to go. We can investigate this one at half time. Why not? Are there any second half scoring patterns? I think the main pattern is with Wrexham is that they do score and concede, particularly if leading. I don't know if that's a pattern I've just made up or something I've noticed from only a couple of matches, but we will have a look. And we've got a possible play again. Wolfsberger against Red Bull Salzburg. I don't think Red Bull are involved in the Champions League up and coming, but do check. Could be a Thursday candidate. Let's have a look at the form so far. So that's what I'm talking about, the 2-goal habit. They led here with a Joss Windass penalty. Equalised, but then eventually conceded. Led twice and were done. That was an excellent result. Second half goals. Second half goals, at least one scored. One scored 90th minute. So 3 consecutive matches with second half goals for Wrexham. QPR, this is why you're getting ultra defensive QPR today. Look at that, conceding 9 goals in the last 2. 3 goals against Charlton. Is that a sign of change? Yes, it's at home, but do note both teams have scored in the last 4. So if that interests you and these odds are short enough, and those odds are big enough, have a tickle. I try to keep my stake, I would say, to about a tenner or thereabouts, and try to get the Wrexham profit to about 100. If I can keep it under a tenner, that will give us some ammunition if they score the next goal. There we go. We're already there with £6.78. So I'm looking at the potential for Wrexham to score the next goal. And if they do score the next goal, we are up and running. So we've got £1.36 to be matched here. Am I the luckiest man in the world? We will see. That would be lovely if it's a 1-2. Nice and quick. So they're scoring 2 goals. Both teams have scored in 3 of the last 4. Scored in every single match this season. Scored and conceded every single match this season. And there we go. So I'm hoping that the odds-on favourite will score the next goal. And we will be up and running. I will pass this on to Telegram as the odds are short enough, I think. Wrexham 0, QPR 2. 1.96 home favourite Wrexham, 2 goals down. I've decided to lay QPR at 1.18 and back Wrexham at odds of 28. They've scored 2+ goals in each of the last 3 matches. They've scored in every single match this season. QPR scored and conceded in every single match this season. First time they've scored 2 goals away from home, hoping it's the last. If Wrexham can score the next goal, we will be up and running. So that looks a reasonable enough play, doesn't it? What's up with Mulder? 0-2 against Fredrikstad. But it was there in the in-play stats, Bosun. That's why I didn't pull the trigger. One shot on target only. 8 off 2 corners. Freiburg, well, I'm not going to be playing this one, so I'll give that a miss. Ajax 2-0 up. Exactly what they need pre and post Champions League. Post International pre-Champions League. A nice 2-goal cushion. Hashduk split, odds on favourite, so I'll be keeping an eye on this one. And yet another play of mine that I couldn't get on, Lillestrøm, laying the draw. Hashduk split, let's take a look at the stats for this one. I might have to get rid of a few of these. So St Johnstone are leading. I don't need to know anything more about that. We've got some goals coming in. So we're just having a look at Hashduk split at the moment. Croatian HNL 1 League. Familiar name. Odds on away from home. So that's why it's on my list. HNL, it's called the league. Probably at the bottom after the numbers. There we go. Hashduk split and Verasden. So just want to see how Hashduk split react as odds on favourites going a goal down. And there's the Ross County equaliser. Well worth keeping an eye on, Ross County. Newly relegated, could dominate. That's why I just had that match noted. Not got any interest in Bournemouth and Brighton, I'm afraid. I can't tell you how the match is going to play out. Sorry, don't have a strong opinion, so don't play. Couldn't tell you the winner. I couldn't even tell you who's up front or anything else. So worth just focusing on the matches that you can read. So let's start odds on favourite list. And let's see if there's any surprises. Well, Red Bull Salzburg, again, just are they involved in the Champions League? Let's get rid of a few of these. And Rangers and Hearts, I still haven't pulled the trigger. Are you tempted to trust Rangers? And it's 2-0 for the Geordies, so that's probably game over. But I would be laying 2-0 up. I would be laying 2-0 up. Just because it's pre-Champions League. Might be resting some of the stars. 2 goals for Wolves against Everton. If this is short enough, it's layable enough. Pre-Champions League. 2-0 Verasden against Hashduk split. So that could be of even greater interest. That can't be 2-0, I don't think. That's not 2-0. I don't think that's 2-0. No, let's take it. There we go. That's just the 1-0. That's 2-0 there. And it's been disallowed. Oh, heading into the Turkish league has cost me. It's 0-2 Antalyaspor. I did warn you. Heading off to these lower tiers. Now, I'm going to just top up in case we get that 1-2. Only 3 matches to work off in a lower tier league. I deserve my punishment. But this is what I tend to do. I tend to, and in case we can get that 1-2. If not, I'll have to take the full hit. So £5 here. And £5 here. See, it's still not a confident market at all. And again, I'm having problems with Wi-Fi. You can see this is just troubling me a little bit. So we're going to be laying Antalyaspor. That's an extra 8 topped up. And then we're going to be backing Samsunspor for a fiver. So if we can get a 1-2 out of this, the act of doing this could get me a break even at 1-2. So that's just waiting there. And you can see the bump up there now. It's still early enough in the first half, second half. So it's just an aberration, I hope. And we can get back on parity. Luton and Plymouth, I missed out that second equaliser. Now the Wi-Fi is starting to labour now. So you can see it's going to be affecting my trading. So I might have to call it early and swap my Wi-Fi. Because I can't work like this. If it's going to take this long. So they're both goals from open play. That's fine. No worries. It's very, very early though. So I remain hopeful. Luton and Plymouth I should have played. Missed that twice now. This is taking too long. There we go. Okay, good. So just have a look at the second half stats. We're just beginning, so there's no point. Look at the whole 90 minutes. So at the bottom, goals on target faced 1.21, goalkeeper saves of 1. 14 clearances for the away side. That's promising. If we can keep that pressure up from Samsunspor, that will help. Touches in the opposition box 16-4 as well. So shots inside the box 5. It's hinting at something, isn't it? But just caught with their pants down at the beginning of the second half. It's a real pity. We've got a Plymouth red card as well, have we? Indeed, 49th minute red card. Is the draw lower enough to lay? That makes sense. Is this 1-2? Come on. Come on, the mighty Samson. Come on, the Samson. Be a good boy. Yes. Thank you so much. This is a good chance to show you what I call averaging. So once this settles down, you're not going to be seeing -26 anymore. You're going to be hopefully seeing around evens or thereabouts. And this is what I did with Portugal. Oh, you're even seeing a profit, for goodness sake, by averaging up like this. So that's a little trick for you. If you're willing to take the 50 quid hit, mind you. That's the caveat. If you're willing to take that hit, top up with an extra fiver liability and an extra fiver profit. Look at that. Back them at 18s, for goodness sake. Beginning of the second half. Trading's all about the overreactions, isn't it? Bang. Off we go. Now, this is a tricky one for me. Are Samsunspor going to go out and win? Because I've got £8.90 on the draw. I've got £8 on the draw. How much did I lose insurance-wise? £12.40. That's quite a hefty insurance loss as well. So I've got to account for that. This could be effective break even now, couldn't it? But it's so early in the match. They've got a goal down. They've got a goal back. I'm in a decent position. Your other ways of managing, you could wait for this to hit 0.00. If this hits 0.00, cash out, because that is quite a hefty liability added on to that if it is as is. So it's a conundrum, isn't it? The whole of the second half to go pretty much home advantage and do have a goal. Well, Freiburg deserved that, don't they? We were following them earlier on. I didn't take any action with that one. Let's have a walk through. I think some of these score lines are erroneous. Didn't Wolfsburg just score? Let's just have a look. No, yeah, 2-1. So some of these score lines are a bit off. Hope I haven't been passing on some poor stats to you. Hey, the Turkish Yorkshireman, Ayol, scored first. Nora Batty going mental on the touchline. They're going to totally teabag boys will be out singing their hearts out. Don't forget, it's pre and post Champions League for Galatasaray. One or two of these teams are going to cock it up. You can be guaranteed. Are you going to be laying the draw, Everton and Aston Villa? Are you going to be staying in, looking for that 2-2 Samson score? Manage our position. See, that's quite tempting just to get out and say, I gave it a good shot. But I'm quite happy to take the hit because I'll be effectively break even for the day if this doesn't come in. If I can get that draw, that will ignite the 183 quid and we will be up and running. So I really like that quick response. That's superb. It's an odds-on favourite at home. Quick response to going 2 goals down. So you're only still a goal in it. I could effectively lay over 3.5 goals now and leave this to run. But I'd have an even bigger loss if this was to be 1-3. This is going to be a bit expensive if you're looking to keep covering that. It's up to 50 quid now, isn't it? And then you've got that other 12 quid, so it's up to 62 now. This is going to be hefty. £27.90 to cover that. I'll keep it as is and just hope that the market was correct. The fact they got a goal back gives us some momentum to look for a 2-2. Wrexham are starting to wake up, aren't they? You can see that now, 58th minute. Is this a good time to take them on? Let's have a look. Have I done it already? Yes, I have. So, yeah, we've got some pressure coming from Wrexham. Good to see. Guniston and Inter, well, Inter have the goal. I would have expected that from them. Palace and Sunderland, still a very, very solid defensive display from Sunderland. Crystal Palace are not involved in Europe, are they? I don't think so. You have to say the Black Cats improving markedly away from home, but it's just going to be one of those hard luck stories where they're just going to be done late on. Half-hour mark, you want to just have an eye on any substitutions. 60 minutes is a very important time period, particularly if things aren't going your way. Let's have a deeper look at the XGs and see if there's any reasoning here. Lineups as well. Is it a blunted? Well, Mateta's up front. Kamada, Pino, Muniz, Hughes, Lerma, Mitchell, Goy. It's not your first 11, is it? That you'd be wanting Eddie and Ketia in there, that's for sure. We will see. Great performance so far from Sunderland. Not playing Mr. Brobby, though. Is he on the bench? Yes, he is. Good centre forward from Ajax, Mr. Brobby. But problem is, wherever he goes, Noel Edmonds is very near. So let's go back to my odds-ons. Wolfsberger and Salzburg, again, I haven't been there yet. Austria. Reliables, starting to look more like their old selves. So we'll wait and see for this one to progress. Barnsley 3, Reading 1. The Turkish Yorkshireman Nora Batty will be getting the old rolling pin out. That goal has not stuck. Problems at Stuttgart early season. Showing well enough, but they're conceding far too often. Like what I'm seeing from Wrexham, could do with a goal before the 65th, 70th minute, just to give the market a suggestion that with 20 minutes to go, they can get that second goal. Like what I'm seeing, but we are restricted time-wise, aren't we? Well, if you're going to be playing Mulder now, Bosun, if you want to play Mulder, now is a good time to play. 10 shots off 7 corners. It's suggestive of something. They have been a little better, but you saw that cluster of problems in the middle of the league, Bosun. So that's the big negative there. I won't be pulling the trigger just yet. Luton and Plymouth could be a good late the draw, particularly with the red card now in force. If they don't win this one, Luton, they will be kicking themselves. That with a red card is pretty decent, isn't it? I quite like that. Just want to confirm there's a red card. Indeed there is. So that's, we saw that the other day with the Ireland under 21s. 1.01 shot. We're about these odds for the draw second half. Similar kind of feel. I just want to see or look for Luton to just give me some momentum. Hopefully I won't miss the goal. But I just want to see a little bit of spark from the Hatters. 5 shots on, 58th minute. Yeah, that's good. 55th minute. No corner since the first half. So just waiting for that. Yes, that's good. But they've already met their obligation with the XG there. That's what you're expecting, XG of 2. So just waiting with interest here. You've seen 74 and 76. When that momentum hits the mid-70s has been when they start scoring. So maybe that's something I'll be looking for. Just wait for them to show a little bit more dominance, shots on, shots off and corners. Still early on. I think that's very good value, isn't it, to lay that draw. Rangers are coming alive if you trust them. I think I might be looking at this now. It's one of those, you wouldn't be surprised if you lost your money. But I'm seeing a little bit of a spark from Rangers. And as Bosun says, we are getting to desperate times for Rangers. The title is done, but they've got to rely on Champions League football now. So they've got to finish in the top 2. That is very high insurance, so this is a dangerous play. 2.16, 1.3, 1.43, 2.16. Let's just see. That's £17. And just want to see if the gap's decent enough. 17 to 44. That's okay. I don't know if I can trust them for the win. That's the problem. But it's going to be a very big odds if it is a win. As Bosun says, it's must-win territory. They are. They don't want to be playing third in the league today. There we go. That's 113 quid there. And that's going to be 50 quid. Oh, no, 20. That's going to be 24 there. So that's very tempting, isn't it? That's what I'm seeing there. 4 shots on, 6 off, 7 corners to 1. So I might have a go here, although I would prefer +1. I can wait a little bit longer. It's just a bit like Ireland midweek. Couldn't really see that second goal coming. You know what I mean? And if you can't see that second goal coming, but you could see one goal coming, then +1 covers the draw. So net profit will be 48 minus 17. But the losses are going to be 48 plus 17 if we get a 0-2. That's what I'm relying on. Home advantage and showing some decent stats. Barnsley and Reading 3-2. So there's a hope that Hearts can start doing something. Mulder are waking up, Bosun, if you trust that momentum. They're waking up. Let's have a look. And we still haven't heard anything from Fat Frank. I'll have to check up on him, unless I've missed all the goals coming in. Now that's getting nice and short. Coventry still 0-1, but it's only the 60th minute, so that's okay, I think. Coventry, yeah, it's 63rd minute, so it's near enough accurate. We still haven't got to Red Bull Salzburg. Yes, we have. Yeah, there. So we're just waiting for a reaction from them. Red Bull, well, Real Madrid have cocked things up, red carded. This is your typical pre-Champions League. Will they, won't they cock up this lead? Well, they've red carded themselves. Might be a time for collapse. Performing okay, these pre-Champions League sides so far, apart from Benfica. We've got a suspended market in one of my matches of interest, so we'll just keep an eye on the goals coming in. And we've got a goal back from Wrexham. Excellent stuff. And it's come at a decent enough time for the market to be thinking, we might get something out of this, boys and girls. Don't forget to just wait for the market to tighten up. If you see odds in this column and odds in this column with a gap, just wait for it to tighten up. Okay, like this, it's getting there, nice and slowly. There we go. We were nearly there. 158, 159. So this is probably as good as you'll get at the moment. So we're in a decent position here. Those of you who don't like taking losses, you've got a variable profit calculator. Show you how much it will cost to take that down, to have an effective free swing of the bat. I quite like that. That will give me, don't forget, that's 7% saved, isn't it? I quite like that setup. You're still going to get that 87 working for you if you can make it 2-2. Any odds on favourites still? Let's have a look. Have we been missing all the fun? There we go. There, Wrexham coming back. Dortmund getting the win thanks to the red card. Yeah, Wrexham QPR 1-2. Premier League very, very quiet today, isn't it? Post-international, is this the reason? It's like a snooze fest, isn't it? Post-international football. Not really affected the Germans, though. With the 0-2. Got a suspended market again, so it's one of our matches of interest. No, I'm not playing Leighton Orient Bolton. I don't think. Yes, Rangers have equalised. It was a dangerous play. And this was down to the in-play stats. And I suppose Bosun kind of persuading us that it was a must-win. So well done, Bosun, if you got involved there. Good stuff. So we can check now I'm a bit peed off. If it sticks, not going +1. Not going match odds. Looks as if that has been disallowed. But it's a good sign. Good sign. 119 for Mulder. If you fancy the play, this could be the turnaround point. And I think I might start getting a little bit interested here. You don't have to put too much in to get over 100 quid for Mulder. All you need is that 1-2. We're not looking for a Mulder win at this stage. We're looking for them to convert that momentum into a goal. If they can make it 1-2, that's a potential cash out opportunity, because you can bet your ass you're not going to be seeing odds of 38 or 48 at 1-2 with 20 minutes to go. So that's the reason why I'm interested in this. keep your liability as low as possible because it's highly unlikely that it will come off. But we're looking at the in-play stats. The in-play stats are suggesting if there's going to be a time to score a goal, it's going to be when your momentum is this high at 100 plus. So augurs well. And I've got the table, so I was expecting the table there. Yeah, it's a pity that Rangers equaliser just at the right time if you went match odds, but no reaction yet from Luton Town. Not seeing them go absolutely mental. It is a tough league or a tough position for Luton to be in. They're continuing to go down the leagues. This is home advantage against 10 with 22 minutes to go. And you're really not lighting up the shots on or off target. They're sporadic. 8-minute gap, 10-minute gap, 8-minute gap, 11-minute gap, and 0-minute gap. So I like to see concertinaed shots on target in a nice group rather than stuck every 10 minutes. It's not showing any momentum, is it? Let's have a walk through in what is looks like a fatigued Premier League today with those 0-0s. Everton and Aston Villa. This is a chess match, you'd suspect. The villains are trying to stem the bloody nose. Everton are trying desperately to keep this wonderful run going. But the defences have been on top for the first 73 minutes. Samsunspor, wish that momentum would have continued to get that 2-2 nice and quick, because I've still got that £49 loss, haven't I? I don't like playing this league, so there we go. We're down to £8.48 loss now. So you saw my position I was in. By averaging up, that gave me an out, and ideally I should have taken it, but I was thinking 51 minutes, 40 minutes to go. Surely we can get that to 2-2. But it's just stifled, isn't it? No shot on target for 9 minutes. No shots off target. But a couple of corners recently. Let's hope we can get that 2-2. And Taliaspor do give away a lot. Wrexham, well, we're finally poised here again. We've generated a profit from the 1-2, like we did with Samsunspor. But if you didn't cash out, you're waiting for that 2-2. Well, no, I can sit back, pipe and slippers job here because I've already, I think, got rid of the liability. 2-0 for Wolfsberger. We didn't see any reaction from Red Bull Salzburg, did we, earlier on? So 2-0 is a good entry point again. I don't think they're involved in the Champions League. Coventry, well, if this ends 0-2, I will be bitterly disappointed. One shot on 21 off 6 corners. Looks like the Norwich goalkeeper is player of the match at the moment. That's the beauty of insurance. We are there. We are there for the goal. We're just hoping they don't concede a penalty or do something stupid. We've got a suspended market again. Let's have a look. Any of our matches or goals of interest. Ah, damn. So that's the, see at 1-2 you're making the profit. At 0-2 you're not. But that's what the liability, well, it's no, I don't have anything to worry about. There we go. I've got rid of the liability, so it doesn't matter. I don't think that's quite right. Is it 1-3? Because if that's, yeah, still might get some change out of that. And here starts the Real Madrid collapse at 0-2. Champions League side. So that could boost that up to 25 quid for the sake of a £1.58 loss. So that's what I'll do there. It's still early enough at 1-3. If they can make it 2-3, again, it just changes the complexion of the match. But this is one I think this is the kind of concession we're going to see from Wrexham this season, as they're being overestimated by the market, but they are at the end of the day newly promoted, so they shouldn't be as dominant as the market suggests. It's all 0-0 City in the Premier League still. I'm not going to be taking any of them on. Still waiting for Luton to come alive, but they're just not really forcing it, are they? Galatasaray, 73rd minute goal. Rangers, what a pity that goal didn't stand while they were on top. That's what I was aiming for, grabbing that equaliser while they had the momentum. We've got the goal in the back of the net, but it just didn't stick. West Brom are dominating Derby, but they are running out of time. 2 shots on, 12 off, 5 corners. Looks like it's all gone a bit quiet recently, hasn't it? The momentum has dropped significantly. Coventry, well, we're just waiting for that goal to arrive. Frustrating for Frank Lampard, I'm sure. Fulham and Leeds, yet another 0-0 in the Premier League. And it could be a snatch and grab from Leeds. 3 shots on, 5 off, 3 corners. But again, look at the momentum. Woefully inadequate. Now, if you laid the Desmond there, Plymouth Argyle, is this going to be the 3rd consecutive occasion that Luton Town come from behind? If there's a way that I can have a play, I will. So Luton Town, don't forget they're playing 10 men. So if there's any way, just wait for the market to settle down there. Goal back for, that's Wolfsberger. Okay. So are Real Madrid gettable? There's half an hour to go. Pre-Champions League. They're going to have to manage this match because they're going to be fatigued. They're going to be very fatigued next week. Holding on. Oh, late winner for the Wolf. Missed all the fun in the Bundesliga. So Luton and Plymouth, I'm just waiting on. Let's wait for this to settle a bit. It's laying over 6.5 goals now, will it be? Or 5.5 goals? Yeah, laying over 5.5 goals. Luton +1. No. Far too skinny, isn't it? You won't make any money. Laying at 1.8 and backing at 1.85 or evens. So either you do it now without insurance or you just wait for a little bit. But they've come from behind on 2 occasions already. Let's have a look at some of the matches that aren't on my blue list. Galatasaray getting the late goal. Pre-Champions League again. Are they layable late on away from home with just a single goal lead? It's very slim. And they do have that international group who could be fatigued. So just work our way down here. SPL. Quick momentum from Motherwell. Could see that draw layable late on. We've got some goals coming in. None of any great interest. Panseriakos, red card. If that remains 0-0 at half-time, this is your green light for Olympiacos, who are involved in the Champions League to get a result. Are they going to get the breakthrough before half-time? Well, you've got no value at all here. The only value would be to going somewhere up here. If they're up for it, 5.5 goals, or play the half-time market, or laying the draw. Well, still relatively high and illiquid, so probably not a good idea. So let's just work our way through any more which catch the eye. as we're heading to the end in what is a very, very quiet Premier League. Are we going to see 3 consecutive 0-0s? Or are you going to be targeting those draws late on? It's asking a lot to expect all of those 0-0s in the Premier League, but it could be the post-international break fatigue. Premier League is chock full of international footballers, isn't it? So I think that could be the reason. A lot of African players, a lot of South American players on World Cup qualifier duty as well. So some of them playing all of the fixtures. You're bound to see some creaking somewhere. Just working my way down, seeing if there's anything else. As you can see, Olympiacos, Panathinaikos, no value at all unless you lay very, very, very late on. Still far too quiet for Coventry, isn't it? And a draw wouldn't suit us now if we've gone match odds, because we'll actually make a loss on the game. Bournemouth and Brighton remains at 2-1. I don't have an opinion on a tough Premier League coupon. Goals are coming. None of any great interest there. West Brom and Derby. Well, the in-play stats were suggesting something, weren't they, in that one? Nothing doing in the Premier League. Are you going to be laying the late draw? I could set up a few now in anticipation. So we've got Crystal Palace and Fulham. I think we've got 3, haven't we? In the Premier League. Fulham, Everton, Crystal Palace. So this is what I'm going to do. Fulham, Everton and Crystal Palace. So 109, 106. That's what I'm going to be doing. Laying the draw at 1.09 for £23. Laying the draw at £2 liability. So that's the Fulham match. Sunderland and Crystal Palace. This is ripe for 3 points, isn't it? Particularly for the newly promoted or newly relegated side. Got a suspended market. I can't get to the Sunderland match. Here we go. So again, 1.09 and 1.06. 23. 1.06. 32. What's the other match? The Everton match, I believe. So that's waiting. 109, 106. If the goal comes before, you'll get your money back. And here as well. These are ripe for late goals, aren't they? Particularly for the away sides. And it's 0-2 Rangers Hearts. Very unlucky there because we had that 1-1. But I did tell you you're howling mad Murdoch if you've got involved. But I think we were robbed a little. And that should signal the sacking of the Rangers manager. He keeps telling me Dundee Motherwell is 1-1. I know. You don't have to keep telling me, mate. Right. If you stop telling me it's 1-1. Okay, so I've got the 0-0s covered late on. Now he's still telling me Dundee Motherwell is 1-1. This is what I don't like about in-play Guru. Just the audio does tend to loop. So let's see if I can get these stats back. So we've got a few late plays on. The speculative one with Rangers, well, we were unlucky because they did get the goal in the back of the net. But this is sums up their season. It's as simple as that. I shouldn't really have played, to be perfectly honest with you. Told you it was a. I got there in that period where they were dominating. That's the reason why I played. So a bit disappointed there because they got a goal and it was disallowed. So disappointed. Luton are doing everything apart from score. Everton 1.65 expected goals. I've got the nil-nils covered now. I could do with Samsunspor making it 2-2. As you can see, that 1-2 was our exit point for that particular match there. Wrexham and QPR a little unlucky. The 1-2 was your green up money. Palace and Sunderland, I've got a late winner covered. Very good defensive display from Sunderland today. It's an obvious Champions League hangover, I think, from them. Luton should be eyeing a late equaliser at some point. 97 attacking pressure index. Well, Rangers and Hearts, we can say Torah too. Disappointing that. Had the goal in the back of the net. Get rid of that one. Well, this is weird. But it's if you did lay the draw on the back of thinking West Brom would score first, well, that's the beauty of the draw. It doesn't matter who scores, but I think the clock is going to catch them out. It's a smash and grab raid from Derby County. Coventry, we're going to get our money back unless they equalise. If they equalise, we'll probably make a loss, which is a pity. You'll lose your insurance premium and you'll lose a small loss on the draw because we were expecting, with all of this going on, that we get an early 1-1 and a chance to push on for 2-1. Fulham and Leeds, I've got the 0-0 covered late on. Real Madrid could be vulnerable late. Salzburg haven't turned up, thankfully. I delayed there. Hajduk split as well, not delivering at the moment. Nice and Nantes could be one for the second half. Obviously, the home side at odds on dominating the match. Olympiacos, matter of time, you would suggest there. Late on, looks like Galatasaray are going to be putting Ayupspor to bed. And that looks to be it at the moment. What's happening with our odds-ons? Not playing that one. Not playing Hajduk at the moment, 1.83. And we're just going to see if we're going to, any of those nil-nils are going to see a late goal. We are there to capture them at as low odds liability as we can muster. Coventry running out of time. This is going to be a disappointing dropping of 3 points for them. Utterly dominating the match, but something just not clicking up front. Nothing else really. Well, Nice for the second half, Olympiacos, some angle somewhere involving goals. I think I'll be staying up a little bit later today as well. I think there's some good opportunities late on today, so I will be looking at those with interest as well. We'll just tidy this up. Bournemouth and Brighton. 3 0-0s in the Premier League. Shouldn't really have international fatigue from these two, but maybe for Villa and Everton, certainly for Palace and maybe Sunderland. Oh, so near Wolves, keeping it within a goal, just not crossing the line. Oh, so close for Coventry as well. Disappointing there. So just clean up a few of these. So the Rangers one, I think, is the most disappointing for me because you've got the ball in the back of the net and then you concede straight away. Oh, but it was a risk, wasn't it? I did warn you. That's going to be the new manager out on his Aris. That is for sure. They can't continue this awful season. So we're just waiting for some late action. Then I'll call it a day. Luton and Plymouth is getting interesting now. They're reaching the 100 plus. This is going to be the battle of the clock now for Luton. And I'm struggling, as you can see, with my... There we go. So we're starting to get the 109s and 106s touched. So any late goals would be very, very welcome in the Premier League. I'm just going to go to Luton. Have a look at the Luton match. Wow, still a long way to go. That's still a little bit too high for me, 1.47. It's going to be a matter of time, and it's a little liquid as well. So I'm just going to be waiting patiently. Knocking on the door. The clock is Plymouth's friend. Knocking on the door. That's what we want to see late on in the Premier League. We've got it covered. Can Everton get the late winner? Can Aston Villa get the late winner? Could have done with a Samson Spor 2-2. That's another loss I'm going to have to take. But I could have got out, as you saw, with that £14 green, which I should have done. Really. That's disappointing. Don't forget, trading's about the odds movement, and we got the odds movement. But I expected with 40 minutes to go, for them suddenly getting on top, that they would deliver for us. Not much expectation with Wrexham, but certainly as the season progresses, we're getting some good late indicators, aren't we? They're giving it a good go in the Premier League, but they're just going to be running out of time. Fulham and Leeds, a good away result for Leeds if they hold on to this 0-0. So just a late action. You can see Coventry as well. Any late goals would be very gratefully received today. I'll be calling it a day once all of these are done, but I will be staying on. We've got a goal, Fulham and Leeds. Have I made a full profit? Let's take a look. All it takes is one of these to be hit, and you'll make a net profit. This is a gutter. There we go, £22. I've only got the 1.0. That's strange. 1.09 matched, not 1.06. But lovely job. Look at that, 10-1 return. Brilliant. That's covered the stakes for the other two. If both of them get taken, boom. That's a nice reward there. Did suggest that Galatasaray had that second goal coming. Leeds will be absolutely gutted, but you can't go through a season trying not to lose. That's not the correct mentality, is it? Trying not to lose. You've got to try to win. Palace are going late. Look, Palace are going late. Everton are going late. It's all waiting. Samson Spor going late. Luton going late, but still a little bit too high at 1.4 to lay Plymouth. So they're giving it a good go. Coventry going late, but the clock is going to be Sunderland, Villa's best friend, and Fulham's now. Great result. So we got one of them come in. We're just waiting. Come on, the Palace. This is 3 points thrown away for Crystal Palace, or 2 points thrown away today. And Everton, that momentum for naught. Oh, would be waiting to hear a ding in the Premier League. That would be very nice indeed, wouldn't it? Help us clean up. So just waiting patiently to hear a positive sound. In the Premier League. We've got a suspended market. Probably the end of the match yet. 0-0. Palace and Sunderland. International break, you'd suspect, isn't it? So now it's over to Everton. No, that's ended 0-0 as well. So we got that £20 profit here. And that covers the liabilities elsewhere. They're only a fiver or £4. So we make a net profit. Only £4. As you can see, had that 106 got matched at Fulham, you'd be making £53 profit, which would be enormous. Stockport and Cardiff late on. I think that's it as well, isn't it, for waiting for goals to come in. We did all right in the Premier League with that late play. At least we didn't lose money there. So have a great rest of your evening. I'm going to be on Telegram. Well, they might surprise Big Gunner. I'm going to be on Telegram certainly for you for a little bit longer. I think there is a decent enough market. I'm goal back from Alder, but a little bit too much or too little too late. So have a great rest of your evening. I'm certainly going to be on Telegram for you to carry on through. Let's see if we can pick out a winning trade or two this evening. Again, we're just skating on thin ice with the Champions League international break, but some decent teams coming up. Hopefully avoiding the 0-0s in the Premier League. Let's have a look. West Ham, London derbies later on. Sure, we've got some Italian, Spanish, and French football, so it's looking good. So I'll bid you a good night and look forward to seeing you on Telegram if there is anything to follow up. I'm still going to be laying Plymouth, but a little bit later at lower odds. Look at all that late action